jokes all episode long. Hey
Well,
guys,
hello, welcome back.
welcome back to It's Cool Us Too. Oh God,
I keep wanting to say welcome in because I'm watching a lot of reality TV from the States and they say welcome in when you go into like a restaurant or anything. I really like it. Welcome in.
I I
I
don't
noticed
like
it when we
it.
went to Charleston. It was a big thing. Like whenever you went into a restaurant or a store, they go, welcome in.
Do you
How
think it's
y'all
just very
doing?
regional?
I think it's like an American thing. Maybe it's more of the
Interesting.
South, but I like it.
What reality shows are you watching right now that might help us determine?
There's like no way of giving you a concise list because there's so many different ones. So I'm watching one that I'm watching that's kind of cool is on Apple TV called Knife's Edge, and it's about the process for a bunch of restaurants trying to get a Michelin star, and that's
Oh,
really
that'd be
interesting.
very cool.
Yes. And so hence restaurants, people saying welcome in. That's happening. It was in New York and Chicago, the episodes I've watched so far. And then I'm watching a
Interesting.
Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, obviously. Um,
Is that the one I keep seeing these memes on TikTok and Instagram about someone had an affair with
no,
like
I don't watch that series. I think it's Miami is the one you're thinking of. Or
yeah.
they like hooked up on a trip is the one you're thinking
Yeah,
of, right?
like
Like the two women.
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I want to watch it now.
It seems very exciting. Yeah,
How you
I've
doing,
not
Cole?
been I'm good. I'm tired today. I wish I had more energy for you guys, but I'm going to try and keep it together before we're done this episode. But it's been a busy few weeks, but like a good few weeks. I was in Moncton last week at an event and I delivered a keynote and it
That's
went
so cool.
very well. I was like literally about to vomit beforehand and probably changed my like notes 20 different times the night before,
Mm,
but like it went really well. And I think it made me realize how much more speaking,
you
paired
want to
speaking,
do?
not just like off the cuff speaking, like, yeah, I'd like to be doing. So it was a really fun opportunity for me career wise. Um, and then we had a great long weekend. Um, just like I spent some time with my niece, who is just the cutest little bundle of joy. I'm just obsessed with her. And yeah, just now getting caught up for like work. We were talking about this. I don't know how to like very subtly bring this in
Transition?
now, but like we were talking about our dating lives before because it's been so long since we've given an update on what's going on in our
Yeah.
lives. And I've gone on several dates. Um, Still very much single, still very much, playing the Ray Where's My Husband song. But uh they nothing's been terrible. Like I don't have anything bad. Like I don't have like bad experiences. They're just not guys that I want to see again. However, deeply upset that none of them want to see me again either. So this is not a two-way street. Not wanting to see them again is for the girls, not for
Yeah.
the boys.
Yeah. We just want all men to always want to see us again.
Always. Always. I'm like, what do you like? I know I don't want to see you, but what do you mean you're not interested in seeing me again?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Honestly, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. I don't know. So there's that. And then in other news, I was just deeply devastated last week about Diane Keaton passing away.
Oh
She's like
my
one of my favorite
God.
actresses. Like First Wives Club is like top 3 movies,
I
no questions
know.
asked. You still haven't seen it, eh?
No, we watched it together.
Oh, we did. Okay, perfect. I knew that this was an issue at some point, but I'm glad it's been
I did share
rectified.
it on Sunday. If you're wondering about the method behind the madness of Sunday scrolls, that's my list
Yeah.
of random stuff that ends up getting shared. And I shared that scene from First Wives Club because I know how much you love Diane Keaton. I mean, I love Diane Keaton, but I know it's like one of your favorite movies.
Yeah.
Um,
So
yeah,
sad.
and I was in the car with my mom, my dad, and my brother, and I mean, my dad and my brother don't even know who Diane Keaton is, I don't think. And I just was like, "Oh my God." on Saturday, my mom was like, "What?" And then there's like a beat of silence while I'm reading the headline, and she just goes, "Diane Keaton." And I was like, "You knew and you didn't say anything?" And she's like, "Yeah, I just got a text message from like one of her good friends." Just like, oh, just the
Yeah.
best. The best.
What an icon. Genuinely.
Yeah, and some of the I mean, I think everyone's been doing it now. The like, you know, resharing all of her amazing quotes and like all of her like the friendship she had with Martin Short and Steve Martin. Just oh, yeah, I love her. She's yeah, such an
She's the
icon.
best.
She's the
How are
best.
you doing? How are things in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, pretty good. I was up at the cottage for like a week and a bit. We closed it up finally for the season, which is a lot of work. My parents were right. It is a lot of work to close up the cottage. I was doing laundry for like 24 hours or something crazy because you basically have to because the mice or like bugs can get into bedding. So you have to like wrap everything up. Like all the mattresses need to be wrapped up. And obviously we want to wash everything before we put it away.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there's just like there's an endless wash and dry cycle going on. So that was intense, but it was good. We had Thanksgiving a week early up at the cottage with like my whole family and my sister and her fiance were there, which was like super nice. It was the first
Yeah.
Thanksgiving we've all done with her fiance, so that was really nice. Um and yeah, dating wise, yeah,
Bleak?
a little bleak. I don't know. I'm trying to put good juju out into the world right now about dating, but I feel like there was sort of a flurry of activity in September when the
You've
Tamagotchis
been
realized
you've been
No, I
doing the
wasn't even
most.
talking
Like,
about me.
no, but I feel like you've put such good effort into dating this, like, from, like, June until, like, now. Like,
Yeah.
you've been performing at, like, I'm very proud. No, because
Oh,
like,
thank
I'm just
you.
like, I have a bad date and I'm like, "Well, fuck this."
Yeah.
But the Tamagotchis were Tamagotching in September.
Yeah, I feel like the Tamagotchis were all like, "Okay, like, feed me." And that meant that there was more activity on the apps, like, some, like, reasonable contenders. None of those really panned out. I did go on a date with someone. And to be honest, and goes back to the whole ego conversation we were just
Yeah.
having of how we don't want men to not want to go on a date with us after. I
Yeah.
wasn't even that into the date. Like the date was really fun. He was super hot. Like, holy shit, he was hot. I was like, wow, like that rarely happens that I
Yeah.
up with someone from an app
And you're
and they're
like,
hotter in person. Like that
that
never
actually
happens to me.
never happens. They're very
Never.
rare, like, no, because yeah. Well, that's great.
Yeah, and he was tall, and then the next day he was texting me all day, and then he was texting me the day after, and then from Saturday so we went on a date on Thursday, Saturday afternoon, I think he sent a message and I, like, liked it or something or hearted it, and then I did not hear from him for a week, and I was talking to Nicole about it, and I was talking to a couple of other friends, I was like, this is just so weird. Like after the first date to be like so engaged and interested and then just to like fall off. It just seems odd. Like typically it's either like a yay or nay type situation, you know?
Yeah.
So then he messaged me a week and a half later. Like he messaged me on
Oh, you
Sunday
haven't
and
told me this.
yeah, and was like, "Hey, I've been like really busy like trying to figure out this like new job." Like he just signed a new contract. When I had chatted to him and he was like, "It's just been so stressful on my end. Like, how have you been?" And I was like, "It just how stressful could it possibly have been?"
Let me make your life less stressful.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is probably not what you should do, but I did respond and say like, "No worries." And again, he was like, "So how have you been? Like, what have you been up to?" Super engaging. Dropped off a cliff. So it's a no from me. Like, I'm not going to go on another date with him, but I just sort of wanted to play it out to see how it went. And clearly this man cannot regulate you know,
It's all up and all down.
his communication.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, that was sort of my last Tamagotchi. So we're back to square one.
Planting seeds.
Planting seeds, hoping they grow.
Yeah.
What else? What else has been going on? Not much. I think we were chatting about how I
Long
don't know,
weekends are
like the long weekend is
tough.
weird when you're single sometimes. I was actually with family most of the long weekend, so I didn't have the same type of weekend you did. Um, but yeah, it makes you think about what are people doing with all of the hours of their day?
Yeah. Like, I saw a good amount of my family. Like, it's, like,
Yeah.
Saturday and Monday, I saw them, but it really struck me on, uh, Sunday. I went to the gym, I went for groceries, and then I got home and I was like, "I wanna do it's such a beautiful I wanna do something. It's gorgeous out." And then I realized all my single friends aren't here for the weekend,
Yeah.
and all my married friends are doing the family thing because 'cause they're doing, like, double time with their family and their spouse's family,
Yeah.
and it's just one of those weekends that do really make you feel single. And, like,
Yeah.
I wasn't sad. This isn't, like, a sad story. I ended up reading another spicy book and, like, getting a nap in and then leisurely getting ready, but it just, like, brings into focus, like you said, what are people doing with this time? And there's almost this, like, stall of and you said it so good before we jumped in. I guess I'm gonna watch another episode of TV?
Yeah.
Like
Like what it even last night I got home, like I had a great day. I saw my friends with 2 kids and like, got home at like 4:30 and was like,
yeah.
"Oh, okay, so I have a lot of hours until I go to bed." And I don't have to work today, which is awesome, and I don't wanna work. So like
Yeah.
and I don't have anyone to hang out with because everyone's obviously having Thanksgiving with their families, which is totally fine. And I wasn't sad, but I think it's funny because I reached out to Nicole about today's topic and just was like, "What do you think about this?" And it was not crystallized at all. I was just sort of like, "How do you retain those hobbies and like that like feeling of whimsy and how do you prioritize fun on your own m- without you know, falling into the trap of just, like, scrolling on your phone or watching another episode of TV or, like, doing all the things that you've grown to think of as habitual in your
Yeah.
30s.
Well, it's almost like flexing the muscle, right? That now as we get older, the list of things we turn to because we only have so much time to spare that's not
Yeah,
taken up by social, that's not taken up by work or life admin or family. So you don't have as much time that you need to flex and be like, "Oh yeah, what do I want to like do with my Saturday afternoon that I have nothing to do and it's a gorgeous day?" And like whereas when you were a kid, you'd be like, "I want to go run around. I want to go lay in a
yeah,
park and pick some flowers. I want to go outside and just draw." Or like you would have all these things that you could just easily turn to, and I don't know if it's even habitual or if it, at that point, was so instinctual as a child
good
because you're
point.
so young that you're just like, "I wanna do this, and I'm gonna do it." Whereas we've almost, like, toned that voice down as we've gotten older.
Yeah, and I even think just you talking about this, like or even just being around our friends who have kids, I think that there is an element of coaching to get creative with what you wanna do. So even with my friends who have a 3-year-old, she's like, "I wanna watch this movie." And they're like, "Instead of watching this movie for the 10th time, why don't we draw? Or do
K-pop
we wanna
Demon
play with
Hunters?
Play-Doh?" I don't think she's watched that yet. But yeah, I think that it's like there's some coaching, but then you realize how big the universe of possibilities is to
Yeah.
have fun, and there's nothing else that you need to be worried about, so you just go after it. Um
When you were growing up, what were the things that you just, like, naturally turned to? Like, the things that just lit you up and, like, just you're like, I must do this right now." That brought you so much joy.
I mean, I definitely was more of an artsy kid than I
Yeah.
was, like, on the sports side. Although, like, I played soccer and skated and danced as I got older, but, um, I was so me and my friends used to do this thing, uh, I think I was, like, probably, I don't know, 10 or 11, and we would go outside and we would create these, like, houses with chalk on the street. So, with like, every day of summer, we would draw. Are you okay?
No, there's a ladybug losing its shit flying around my apartment. I was like, "What is making all that noise?" And I think it's because I have so many lights on that it's just, like, doesn't know what to do. I'm so sorry for being distracted. That really freaked me
No,
out.
it was I mean, listen, I'm used to you both of us get distracted, but that was just such a like, your eyes were just darting back and forth.
It's now on my TV, and it's just, like, chilling out, but it was very
That's
distracting. I was
good
like,
luck. I think that's good
I
luck.
think so. I love a ladybug. Like, anyways, not to distract, but that was I wasn't prepared for that to happen.
So, yeah, me and, like, a bunch of other kids on our street and my sister, we would go out and we would each create our own, like, literally scaffolding of a house, like a 2D house. And then we would design each of the rooms, and we had, like, a crazy amount of chalk colors,
Yeah,
and it would take us
the day.
like 8 hours. Like, it would take us forever, and we would get so engrossed in it, and, like, I'm sure people remember this from being a kid. Your mom, like, calling you in for lunch or, like, calling you in for dinner or whatever, and we'd be like, "No, like, 5 more minutes," and she'd be like, "No, you have to come in now."
Yeah,
So, like, that type of, like, getting super engrossed in something creative that really doesn't have any, like, end goal, right? Like, what if it rains that
for the
night? It's
sake of
gone.
it.
It's just for the sake of
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I think that when you asked that question or when I was reflecting on it before the the recording, I was just thinking about I did a lot of things that require effort that now I'm like, "Oh, that's a lot of effort." So, for
yeah,
instance, like in the winter, putting all of your fucking snow pants, snow like hats, mitts, everything on to go outside and like make a snowman or have a snowball fight. Now I'm like, "Oh my god." Like I still force myself not to make a snowman, but I still force myself to get out of the house in the winter, but I was so willing to put up with the effort
yeah,
required to do fun shit like that, that now I really struggle
yeah.
to, I guess, justify, which is so silly, but I'm so much less
'Cause
likely
time is
to
precious.
wanna put the effort in. But time should be precious for things like that, right? Like,
I know.
and yet I'm like, "Oh god, it'd be so much easier if I just sat inside and watched a movie
It's
as
so funny you
opposed
say that
to going out."
because literally on Saturday, I was leaving my house to go and just, like, to my mom's to meet some family, and I looked at my Mary Jane ballet flats that I have a buckle on them, and I literally out loud to myself, no one lives here, said, "Well, that's too much work," and I slipped on my Uggs. Like, it wasn't really that hard, but, like, did when you were talking about, like, it's too much effort to put your snowsuit on, I was like, I very much understand because I was like, "Nope, this is too
Yeah.
much effort."
And I think that's a really good example of that, like, in day-to-day life
Yeah, I'm like,
of, like,
I
the
can't do a
not
buckle.
doing that. And even I think we feel that today, and I think some of this is a hangover from COVID, and actually you're way better at this than I am, is, like, putting on makeup not because we need to wear makeup, but because it makes you feel good.
Yeah,
And, selecting an outfit that makes you feel like yourself, like, that's, like, the type of effort. I'm kinda getting off track here, but that's the type of effort that I want to do more of, that I struggle with. And then when if we just and I wanna hear about yours too, but I'm talking specifically in those examples about, like, being a kid, like a proper kid. But even in my 20s, like, I did a lot of scrapbooking, like, just for myself.
for
I was at
shits and
the
gigs.
Yeah, I was at the cottage, as I said, like, a couple weeks ago, and I was looking through some old notebooks, which were so cringy, by the way, holy shit. And I have, like, page after page of, like, quotes from my favorite musicians with, like I got really into taking pictures of my friends in 1st and 2nd year, so I had, like, a black and white camera. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I just,
Doesn't
like,
matter.
asked people to I'd be like, "Let's go down to the lake and I'll take pictures of you," and I'd, like, develop them myself and got really into that, and now, again, that's sort of fallen away. Um, but yeah, no, I think I wanna figure out ways to incorporate more of that into my life, so that I hold on to The stuff that takes effort, but that's, like, creatively worth it.
Yeah. Well, like, when I think back to, like, the stuff that, like, really lit me up as a kid, like, I was always putting on a performance. I was always dressing up in a
Oh, yeah.
costume. I was always, doing the most. And it's funny when I look at where I am now, like, I would rather die than, like, put on some sort of, like, performance like that. Or, like,
Mm.
even, like, I used to love dancing and putting together dance routines. So, I've started
I mean,
recently.
arguably, you still love dancing.
I do, but it's one of those things that, like, now I'm just doing it around my apartment versus, like, I would do it like, I would be choreographing my friends to
Oh,
do
I see.
things.
Okay.
Or, like, I used to rip my curtains off my wall and pin them, this is more like high school, I'd say, pin them around my friends and force them to have a fashion show around my pool. Like, I was like a designer, like,
Love it.
that's the stuff when I was
Yeah, but
older
you
that,
even
like
did that in high school, not
in
in
university, yeah.
university, not that. You created actual collections, but, you were really good at prioritizing that love
Side
of
of it.
fashion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, the creative side, I feel like to some level I've retained. Going back even further though, like, it's so funny you talk about building your house out of chalk. We used to always design parking spots for our bikes, and, like, I'd go on bike rides
What?
for yeah, we would, like, literally design little parking spots on, like, our driveway for our bikes and, like, draw them and, like, draw little things,
Oh
and
my god.
we would again, like, I was a very like, we played tag, we did, like, ghost in the graveyard or hide and seek, like, I was just that, like, very you can't pay me enough to run today. Like, that it's that part of my child I'm just so disconnected from,
Yeah.
but there was so much joy of just not running for the sake of it, but just, like, running around and playing and, like, being
Yeah.
outside with your friends. I also used to, like we would, take like, the brown lawn bags in the fall you, like, scoop
Oh, yeah.
your leaves into? So we would take them, turn them upside down, put armholes in them, and cut a little, like, like a square for your eyes, and then we paint them and act as, like, robots when we were children.
Oh, that's so cute.
But, like, it was just, like, this, like, make believe, and
Yeah.
it was just so easy to shift into that.
Yeah.
Like, very easily shift into the, like, playing, and I was watching maybe last weekend, I was over at Kelly's, and her daughter was there with one of her friends, and they were just, like, playing. Like, they were in the pool, they were playing mermaids, then they put on a performance, like, it just brought back to me, I'm like, "Man, there's just such, like, an earnestness when you're a kid." I don't know if that's the right word I'm saying, but, like, you're just so, like, just genuinely happy, but this is it just feels like the next thing to do. Like, you're not really listening to rhyme or reason, it's just very you're intuitively moving into the next thing that you want because you want it.
Yeah. Well, and I think you're not thinking of, like, the payoff. Like,
You're yeah,
even when you're talking about the payoff of, like, designing a parking space or the payoff of, um,
building a
choreographing
fort.
dance routines.
Yeah.
Like, even now, that's all happening on TikTok now. Like, people not all, but a lot of people are, filming themselves creating videos of them, even kids are doing that, and it's all, like, it's more of a performance, and maybe it's not for likes and views, like, I don't know enough about kids to know if that's what they care about, but it does feel like with the how much technology has infiltrated our lives, there's more of a focus now on, like, how do you spotlight your creativity and sort of get something out of it to some extent,
It's the
whereas before.
monetization of it.
Yeah, 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 it's really interesting, and actually it made me think about, so, Kelly, who you just mentioned, one of our friends, I think it was 2 summers ago, it wasn't this summer, but it was the summer prior, and she brought her daughter to the cottage, and, we had a girls' weekend with her, and it was so special and cool, and we made friendship bracelets, and all of us got so into it, like, way more into it than I thought we would. And we were all just chatting, drinking wine, making friendship bracelets. And I feel like there's something to be said about our friends with kids who have gotten like who are more seasoned maybe just because they have kids at tapping into some of those like whimsical, silly,
Crafts.
like crafty things that we just don't think about as much because we're not around kids or we're not thinking about ways to keep people engaged without technology or watching
Yeah.
TV or whatever. So that just made me think of that.
Like, I think it's so funny because she was talking this episode's just like an ode to Kelly. She was
Yeah.
talking in her girls chat. We're planning like a weekend about doing some sort of craft. And a few of the girls were like, "Yes, it sounds great." And my first instinct is, Why? What's the point?" And that's the wrong
Yeah.
reaction to have for something that's like a fun, a little afternoon thing to do. But it's because in my head, I'm like, I have so little like time off. I'm like, do I just want to sit around in a cuddle puddle with you guys or do I want like an activity? Like you almost
Mm,
stop doing things, like you said, just for the sake of them. And you start being like, well, there has to be an end result here. I have to get
yeah.
something out of this in the end. And, or I want to do nothing with the outcome of having no outcome.
Yes. You wanna rot.
I want to do nothing. And that's my problem is I don't, similar to the guy that you went on a date with, I don't have a middle ground. I am all in or I am rotting. And like
Yeah.
finding that balance, I do think is going to help me and anyone really tap back into those like how to be present, how to like listen to the instincts. Where like and if I was more tied into that, maybe on Sunday if I was like, I'm just gonna go on like a forest walk. Or I'm gonna drive to Marrickville for the day. Or you know what I wanna do? I just like, I kinda wanna do X, Y, and Z, but, like, you have to be
Mm.
present to tune in and listen to that instinct
And
and that little
remove, as
voice.
we said, remove the it needs to be for something.
Yeah.
Like, it
I had
doesn't
a
need to
f
be for something. You can just do something for the sake of doing it, and it you know, if someone's judgmental of that, I think that's so sad.
on it, but it's so hard because, like, I get free time and my again, on Sunday, I was like, it's such a beautiful honestly, if it hadn't been that nice of a day, I don't think I would have even entertained
Yeah.
doing something. 'Cause I was like, I have a whole host of things on, like, my personal to-do list, not even work, that I wanna get done and get through, that I feel like when I do have time, like, downtime, that's what I feel like I should be doing.
Yeah. I think our generation is probably I mean, I don't know if I can really say this like a fact, but I feel that our generation, given we are so addicted to our phones and to
Yep.
technology, but we also knew a world before that.
We were the
I think
bridge
we
generation.
yeah, I think we are going to have to we are working and are going to have to work so much harder to like find ways to keep pushing towards things that require effort because they're worth it. Like I don't know, I don't even know how to think about how Gen Z or Gen Alpha is supposed to approach that. But for me, like it goes back to even what we've talked about in the past around like people aren't partying enough or people aren't like connecting with people enough because it requires effort. And there's like an inner version of that, which is kind of what we're talking about today, of like an inner version of finding joy that, doesn't necessarily require people, but allows you to tap into something inside of yourself that brings you joy. And obviously, there's an element of like when you're connecting with people, I feel like it sometimes feels like that effort is more quote unquote worth it. So maybe it's even easier to do that. Um, but yeah, how are you going to do that? Like, what are you going to, like, what can we tell people about how we're going to approach this?
I don't even know right now. I think for me, one of the things that I've realized over the last little bit is how clenched I am all the time. Like, I'll literally be driving and be like, "Why am I, like, why are my hips, like, clenching? Why am I, like, bracing?
Mm,
Like, physically, my body is always on guard.
yeah.
And I really, like even now, like, I'm sitting my legs across and I'm like, "No, no, relax. Like, relax."
Yeah.
Allow, like, more ease even into, like, just being more mindful of, like, your body, and I wonder to some extent how this is translating. You've gone on a date with me recently and you have some feedback, I'd love to hear it. But, like, how this is translating into, like, my dating life, because I'm like, how like, I guarantee you, and this has been a problem for me for the last few years, I'm missing the playfulness. I'm
Yeah.
missing the idea of play for play. And that can show up in so many different ways in different aspects of your life. But it's like the idea of just being silly and doing things, like you said, without worrying about the outcome at the end. So just being playful on the date and just feeling into it without being like, I have to like abide by X, Y, and Z, or being too in your head about the guy, like future tripping on him, or being like, fuck, I don't want to be here. It really, I think, all comes back just to being present and calming ourselves down enough and, you know, going with more ease so that that playfulness side has the room to be able to start
Mm.
coming out more naturally. Cause I also don't think that, like, am I going to go play tag
I think you should
outside?
start designing parking spaces for your bike outside.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I don't even
Yeah.
ride a fucking
If it
bike
wasn't
anymore.
clear, we are not saying that you need to do that.
No.
But you
But
need to
like,
modernize what that looks like for you today.
but maybe it's something like when you are with your friends, right? Like when we have our girls' weekend, maybe there's something more playful we can do. That's like silly
Yeah.
for the sake of silliness, right? Like maybe we go tobogganing. Do you remember going tobogganing on like little hills and like cul-de-sacs near you or like
Yeah.
going with your friends and just going down a hill? Like there's no point to it, just it's
Or
fun.
do you remember not having a plan for the day? Do you remember what that was
Yes.
like? That was
Yeah.
crazy.
And that usually ends up with me just rotting because I don't know what else to do. So you have to like intentionally not have a plan, but like boundaries around it.
Well, true. That no, you're absolutely right. But I was actually talking about when you're with friends and you don't have a plan.
Yes. Yes.
Like I even in my 20s I was better at that. And I actually really I would say I'm in social situations or just maybe in general, I'm less clenched than what you're describing, but I still don't like my level of clench.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like I feel like it's easier for me to tap into the playfulness of things. Like just as a rule. Like as a person, I find it a little bit easier. I think probably because I'm so extroverted. So if I'm around people, it's easier. But I still find like I cannot not plan the day. I don't know how to do that anymore. It really bothers me.
But I find the nights that I have the most fun, at least the nights recently that I've had the most fun, are when
Yeah.
I like message Jackie and I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Nothing, just got off work." I'm like, "Let's go get dinner.
Yeah.
Let's go, let's
Totally.
wander down our neighborhood." Right? Like it wasn't planned, it's just spontaneous. And it's so hard because no one's free. No one has the space to do anything.
Yeah.
Um, are there certain things for you that like you think would just like immediately spike joy for you and make you feel like little Megan again? Like wearing something different, doing an activity, being
Mm,
around certain people. Like what would be like the quickest like jump start to get you back there?
I think I sort of tried to do that with pottery last year, and that obviously didn't go particularly well. But I was like, "Ooh, like, not thinking and being more in my body, I think helps."
Yeah.
So, even just, like, going for a walk with someone helps. I think
Yeah.
getting dressed up in something that feels very me
Mhm.
helps a lot, and, like, going out with friends obviously helps a lot for me. But I do wanna try and find a couple of sorry, it's very loud where I am right now, apologies.
It's like Toronto PD right there.
Yeah, I
I
do
hope they
want
catch the
to
bad guy.
I do wanna try to do some more things that get me out of my head and into just my body and having fun. And I think one of those things is cooking for me. That's like a grown-up version of making chalk houses, because
Mm,
I think with cooking, like baking, I struggle because it's so specific. I feel like I can't be as creative,
you
but
can't
with
follow your heart.
cooking, yeah, with cooking, I sort of can. So I think that's something, as it becomes soup weather, as it becomes pasta weather, as it becomes braised meat weather, that's something that I'm
Bolognese.
going to get into. Yes. I love a good bolognese.
How do we feel about like an aerial yoga or like some sort of like
Oh.
class that's like like exercise but like off like a or
Oh my god, do you know
like a
what we're
stripper
talking about?
class or something?
Do you know what we're talking about right now? We're
What?
literally talking about Paige and Hannah's YouTube series.
Yes, because you know what's on my list? Like my number one list that I want to do this fall. So like number one on my fall list, I want to go horseback riding. So like being around animals.
There you go. Honestly, that is, they really, and I don't know, maybe I'm not giving them enough credit. I don't even think that this was the thinking that they had behind,
They're like, let's just
like,
try shit.
they're like, let's just try some shit. And
Yeah.
that is the energy that we need to tap into.
Yeah. Because I think just like think about how different the rest of your life would be if you were just so much more playful in like the aspects that you didn't have to be on.
Yeah. And sometimes, I mean, this is a very small example, but like being more playful can mean such little things. Like I went
Yeah.
to a mat Pilates class. Actually, I cannot believe I didn't update people on this in our intro. This is a very weird mat Pilates class that I went to, and I don't think I'll be returning. But I went to, I know, it was
I
very
haven't
odd.
heard this.
No, yeah, it was, I went on Sunday, and anyways, to your point of being more playful, some part of that can be like, I'm going to take myself to a workout class that I don't know how hard it's going to be. I don't
Yeah.
know exactly what it's, what it entails. Like, I don't know if it's just a me thing, but even that level of like, I don't know exactly what I'm about to walk
You're like, I want to
into
know.
can
Yeah.
feel a little bit nerve wracking. It can feel like you're taking a chance. And sometimes it doesn't go that well. And in this case, it sort of was a mixture of mat Pilates, dance, and meditation. So
Your big three.
yeah. And it was odd. I'll be honest. Like, and also I was the only person, it was clearly the only person who'd never been. And
Is
everyone
it
just like,
culty?
mm, yeah,
Mm,
yeah. And there was like okay, also it was supposed to be a pop music class, and for the two moving meditations, so as in you needed to move your body in whatever way you felt comfortable, they were playing Sarah McLachlan.
no.
Like,
No, thank you.
I will remember
No,
you.
no.
It was so intense. And then they would be like, okay, everyone get up. And now we're dancing to Florence and the Machine. Just dance around the room for like 3 minutes. Yeah, I know. It was pretty crazy. I won't be back. It was like the worst version of all three of those things. Um, anyways, I took a chance. I was like, I'm gonna
And that's the
go try a new
point.
thing. And now I have a funny story, and I had a experience for an hour. I took myself to get a smoothie afterwards. That was time well spent for me because it pushed me out of my comfort zone a little bit. Um, so there are things you can do on your own and with people where it's like, just try new shit, and maybe it won't work out, maybe it will, but at least you've got a story to tell at the end of the day. It's all copy.
Yeah. I also think that there's if you were to think back at the things that you loved so much that, like, you were made to feel embarrassed about at certain points, like, if you think back to, like, those things and, like, one and this is I was a little bit made fun of in, like, university. I'm gonna throw Kelly under the bus because she made fun of me because I was so obsessed with Dancing with the Stars. But, like,
Oh yeah.
I loved Dancing with the Stars, and Jackie got into it last season because all of the Olympians on it, and now it's our thing. And I'm like, she'll come over like, it's on
Oh.
tonight. she'll come over and we'll, like, talk about it and, like, watch it, and, like, I get to, like, enjoy it without it being, like, a secret guilty pleasure anymore. It's like
Yeah,
I get to
fuck
love it
guilty
out loud.
pleasures.
I get to love it out loud, which is,
You
like,
get to love it out
nice.
loud.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah. I think that's a really good way to, like, you know, give back and connect with your inner child, if you will. I don't know why I said
Yeah.
inner child like that.
Yeah, I know, I think finding the joy in little things. I think if I was listening to this, I would agree with us. I think we've
We
nailed
have.
it.
We've done a great job.
Nailed it.
Kudos to us. Man, okay.
Yeah,
That
I
felt
think
like it
that's
we haven't done, like we've done a lot of guest episodes lately.
yeah, we haven't done one just the 2 of us chatting shit, so I think this
This
was,
kinda felt nice.
felt really nice.
Yeah.
Back to our roots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we'll talk to you guys next week. Got some really good guests lined up, so you'll hear from some very inspiring women, and we'll be back soon.
Love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.